Welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. This is the show with the information you need to improve your life. In the show today, business ideas and support for those venturing on the path of entrepreneurship. I'm Sandra Clark. Stay with us as we turn the pages.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye, running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs round here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, April 30. Sections of St. James, Hanover and Westmoreland are now under a state of public emergency for the next 14 days. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the announcement this morning during a press conference at Jamaica House.
The government will use all the tools available to protect the lives of citizens. And the tools that are available include states of public emergency and zones of special operations.
According to the security forces, since 2017, the three western parishes have seen sustained increases in murders and violent crimes. Since the start of 2019, Westmoreland has recorded 29 murders, followed by St. James with 27 murders and Hanover recording 18 murders.
We're asking you to use any one of the available tip lines to report gang or other violent activities. And the tip lines are 311 for the JCCF tip line and 876-837-8888 for the JDF tip line. This community support is a key component of our intelligence gathering process and rests heavily upon your input and involvement.
The Auditor General's Department, AGD, will be managing the forensic audit process into oil losses at Petrojam, including the tender process for the forensic auditor. The AGD is to receive all the comments and feedback on the draft terms of reference developed for the forensic audit by May 1. A release from the Energy Ministry points out that the Auditor General's findings from its own audit found that over the last 5 years, Petrojam recorded an estimated 2 million barrels or $18 billion worth of oil losses. It also said Petrojam reported that it used 1.5 million barrels valued at $12.8 billion during normal refinery production, but could not account for 600,694 barrels worth an estimated $5.2 billion. The assessed period is 2013 to 2018. The AGD said the losses represented 0.75% of the total throughput of 80,007,746 barrels. Permanent Secretary Carol Palmer says the Energy Ministry is committed to full transparency and integrity of the auditing process. Government will spend over $600 million this financial year to retool the telecommunications system of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. This announcement was made by National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang recently.
We'll cover the island and we will ensure that the police officers have quality communication, both mobile and fixed.
Dr. Chang says the JCF is committed to enhancing efficiency, accountability and optimal performance through the institutionalization of a technology governance structure.
This year, there will be significant updates to the enterprise resource management system. This will see improvements in several internal business processes to include records management, fleet management, facilities management, and case management.
In addition, the implementation of the electronic station records management system will replace the Big Book or station diary. 1,000 new police officers are expected to be trained this year, with the outlook for next year increasing by 500.
The professional review of 19 territorial police divisions suggests that an additional 4,000 members are required to ensure adequate staffing of our police force.
Dr. Chang says while these numbers are being expanded, the Commissioner of Police and his team will reorganize and remission the Inspectorate of Constabulary, which will be rebranded the Professional Standard Branch of the Police Force. The Security Minister says the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, will have a special subgroup to deal with anti-gang activities, among other things.
The Mobile Reserve will be restructured and placed a position to be more effective and to respond to the many hotspots across the island more effectively.
A new $40 million female ward is to be constructed at the Manchester Infirmary. Ground was broken at the site of the new facility on Thursday. It should be completed by year-end. Speaking at the ceremony, Local Government and Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie said government is committed to improving the lives of Jamaica's poor.
And we are doing so because many of these people have helped to create the foundation for the Jamaica that we are living in today.
The infirmary will have solar water heating and energy-saving water harvesting systems to reduce the cost of electricity. It will also have a new generator to run the facility during power outages. And finally, government is on track to deliver 28 houses by August under its indigent housing program. More than 50 are expected to be delivered by March 2020. Local Government and Community Development Minister Desmond McKenzie made those announcements at the recent handing over of 2 indigent houses at Hatfield in Manchester.
We're not only putting a roof over the heads of these people, we have ensured that all these units are properly equipped with furniture. And we also ensure that those persons who occupy these units are monitored almost on a weekly basis by the staff of the Poor Relief Department. So we're not just giving the units and then say, bye-bye, you're on your own. We have to ensure their safety.
And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
We want a productive Jamaica. We all are productive Jamaicans. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity, free a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, Pathway to Prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Up next, the latest happenings out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
What you're seeing here is a manifestation of the support of the government. This development carries a price point for almost all segments of the housing market.
And
These houses, I gather, are coming in the region of about 10 million to 11, which is fairly good.
you're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has pledged increased support and investment for the Jamaica Defence Force to improve the nation's security, calling the JDF a critical tool in dealing with new and unconventional threats to national security. Mr. Holness says government will be providing the resources needed to bolster the force's efforts.
In our area, the threat is the increasing number of gangs, dons, and guns. And that is what we must now recalibrate our civil defense and national security assets to tackle. And that is what the government has been doing. And that is what I want to convey to the leaders, the strategic thinkers of the Jamaica Defense Force, that this is now your new mission, because this is now the clear and present danger to our society. And the government will make the investment to support you in doing this.
Mr. Holness was speaking on Friday at the opening of the new Lathborough Barracks offices and accommodation at the JDF's Up Park Camp headquarters. The facilities will provide military housing for over 10,000 soldiers. The project is being executed by the JDF, the National Housing Trust, and the Urban Development Corporation. Early in the week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness turned his attention to housing for tourism workers in St. James. On Wednesday, the Housing Agency of Jamaica signed a joint venture agreement with Chinese company Hainan Fifth Construction Group. The project will see to the construction of 754 housing units at Rhine Park in the parish. A one-bedroom apartment will cost $7.9 million, two bedrooms will go for $12.3 million, and single-family homes are set at $12.4 million. Two-bedroom townhouses, meanwhile, are priced at $14.5 million, while three-bedroom townhouses can be purchased at a cost of $18.5 million. Mr. Holness used the contract signing to encourage more local developers to partner with the government in delivering housing solutions. According to the Prime Minister, the Rhine Park development, which was once thought to be infeasible, can be used as an example for local developers to innovate.
We have to analyze what technology, what different analysis, what different building strategies are going to be used that makes the project now sustainable, and how we can transpose that through a learning experience to our local contractors.
Wednesday also saw the Prime Minister lauding developers who have taken up the National Housing Trust's Guaranteed Purchase Program. The latest agreement will see local developer West Indies Home Contractors Limited building 1,200 two-bedroom homes at Silverson Estates in Innswood, St. Catherine. Once the houses are built, the NHT will purchase all or an agreed number of the homes to supply to its contributors. The program will allow developers to reduce their market risk, while the NHT will satisfy the demand for housing solutions.
What we're seeing is that these housing solutions are coming in at lower prices than if they were sold on the open market. So, these houses, I gather, are coming in the region of about 10 million to 11, which is fairly good, given the amenities that will be on the property. I see this program as a very successful program. And I think that in the coming months, it will be expanded as more and more developers and contractors see the program working. They will want to participate.
200 of the 1,200 homes are to be ready by March 2020. Mr. Holness used Wednesday's groundbreaking to announce that he had ordered a comprehensive review of the proposed Bernard Lodge City development. Addressing public concerns about land usage in the area, Prime Minister Holness acknowledged that out-of-town housing developments may become unaffordable to citizens due to expensive costs for service delivery and maintenance, as well as high construction costs and long travel times.
It is something that I'm very sensitive to. And it is never easy. But the nation must never lose sight of the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is to provide shelter in an orderly way and in a sustainable way. Trade across borders was one of the lowest scores in our ease of doing business. And I've been speaking about it for a long time. I'm happy to see that there's a tangible move on the part of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries to have this done.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness expressing satisfaction with the move to launch the Jamaica Trade Information Portal. With this portal, Jamaica will have a single authoritative trade information source for businesses to easily access information they need at any time. To be managed by the Trade Board Limited, the portal will go live on May 16 and can be accessed at www.jamaicatradeportal.gov.jm. On Friday, Mr. Holness received a brief from the implementation team. He said he expected the portal to significantly improve the ease of doing business in the country while creating an environment that facilitates greater trading opportunities. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Living in Jamaica is an experience that you cannot put in words. There's an energy in the atmosphere that just feels good. There's so many aspects of Jamaica that I think makes it second to none. The best food, the best music, the best people. We can go on and on about the good things about living in Jamaica. There's a parish in Jamaica called Portland. I think that's one of my favorite places to be. It's one of the most nature-oriented parishes and I love the nightlife in Kingston. Once you come here and you get that connection with the people, that connection with the food and the music and just the lifestyle is something that you'll always remember. People should visit Jamaica because I'm sure 100% that it is the place to be on planet Earth. You need to come here and you will get an experience that you will never forget.
If you're passionate about recycling and the environment, then these local artisans may inspire you to go into jewelry making. Take a look.
Droplets of beads, creatively designed metals, painted wood, all handcrafted to adorn the neck, face, or limbs. Made from natural resources found on the island, local costume jewelers are designing a niche for economic empowerment.
Natural handbands. These are like from lucky seeds and RSI, and these bracelet is from copper with seed mixed in. And we have bamboo handband. We have leather handband over here, and we have wallets, sandals, and pipes and chalices. Natural, all handmade right here in Jamaica. I'm doing this business for over 40 years now. I've traveled all over the world, and this is the business that I do. This is my living, and I'm very proud of it. I was working at the post office for 18 years, but in the 18 years at the post office, I learned this trade. I'm self-taught. That's what I love about this. I think about a creative piece, and I manifest it with my hands. And that's what I love about it, manifesting what I think.
So we have two lines here. We have one called the Heavenlies, and then we also have another line that's completely made out of paper, crafted from scratch, hand-painted by a fine artist and varnished. And that one is called Inspired by Nature. And if you look at it, you'll see things that remind you of sunsets or hillsides and mountainous reliefs and fruits and flowers. We have some freshwater pearls, we have shells, we have upcycled, I would say, materials that we used to make the earrings, so paper. So, and we do a lot of seeds and shells. I work a lot with shells. So those sorts of things. I'm telling you this, we don't know how rich we are. We're a very rich country. I'd love if we could concentrate on developing our skills and using our local product and advance. We are so rich that it's confusing sometimes to see what we're doing, so much stupid things. Killing each other, robbing each other. We don't have to do that. We have everything here. So we need to just concentrate and focus and be positive and use the things that we have, because we have a lot. Just be more mindful of what you're doing every day and what you're using every day, you know. Paper instead of plastic, that's kind of, you know, the stereotypical answer, but really thinking about where you're buying your products. Are you buying things that are locally made? Are you buying things that are imported more than the locally made?
Hey there. So, did you know that plastic bags were introduced to supermarkets in 1977? The production of plastic bags are toxic to the environment, as the process involves the use of petroleum, natural gas, and other chemicals. 160,000 plastic bags are used globally every second, and 5 trillion are produced yearly. Side by side, they can encircle the world 7 times. Plastic degrades after 700 years and will only fully degrade in 1,000. This means that all the plastic that has ever been produced has not degraded. It remains toxic even after it breaks down. 13 million metric tons of plastic end up in the ocean every year, and at least 800 species worldwide are affected by marine debris, of which 80% is plastic and is mistaken for food by turtles, fish, and other marine life. Research has shown that fish caught for human consumption contain plastic nanoparticles. An average family will use 60 plastic bags on 4 visits to the supermarket, and only 1 to 3% are recycled worldwide. Play your part in advancing your welfare and that of the earth. Support the ban on plastic. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and get eco-friendly bags for you and your 1877.
Mosquitoes can be a nuisance. They are carriers of several diseases. Dealing with these pests starts first with us, but government also has a role. Up next, we highlight the Ministry of Health's drive against mosquito-borne diseases.
Dengue fever is a vector-borne disease carried by the Aedes aegypti mosquito. It is caused by the flavivirus and occurs in either a mild or severe form in tropical and subtropical areas of the world. Globally, 50 to 100 million cases of dengue are seen yearly.
Dengue is endemic to Jamaica, meaning that since its introduction in 1977, we have cases that occur every year. The cases of dengue fever, including severe dengue, can occur at any time throughout the year. An outbreak is declared when the number of cases increase above the usual that is expected for that time of the year.
Dengue is transmitted to humans by the bite of the infected female mosquito. Symptoms typically begin 3 to 14 days after someone gets infected with the virus. Symptoms can last from 2 to 7 days.
The incubation period is usually 4 to 10 days, and illness begins abruptly, and there are essentially 3 phases of the illness. First phase is where you have the fever. The second phase that you can go into is a critical phase, and then you have a recovery phase.
Over 70% of persons who contract the disease usually experience mild symptoms. Persons affected by the mild form of the disease may experience fever of 40 degrees Celsius or higher, headache, muscle pain, and bone and joint pain. Some people may also experience nausea, pain behind the eyes, swollen glands, vomiting, sore throat, rash, and diarrhea.
So you can see that it's a range of symptoms that can present, and therefore, when you initially present with dengue, it may be seen as different illnesses. It may be seen as gastroenteritis, it may be seen as an upper respiratory tract infection, or it can be seen as dengue fever.
To be on the safe side and put speculations aside, persons who start experiencing symptoms are advised to visit their health facility or doctor for medical advice and treatment. If indeed you have dengue, do not self-medicate with treatments that can worsen your illness or cause bleeding. So be sure to have a discussion about dengue with your doctor. The Health Ministry says doctors who recognize the presence of a fever should also have a high suspicion for dengue and treat with the necessary precautions. For mild cases of dengue, persons may treat themselves at home with specific types of over-the-counter medications, but heed the warning.
Fever and pain to the joints, pain to the muscles, must be treated with only medications that have cetamol, paracetamol, and Panadol. You can also use tepid sponging, fan therapy, and increased fluid to assist with decreasing the fever. Do not use medications that contain aspirin and other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as Ibuprofen and Diclofenac. You must read your labels carefully. If you are unsure, consult your pharmacist or your doctor before using the medication.
The drugs you should not take while experiencing dengue have been known to cause and/or worsen bleeding and increase the severity of the disease. Besides the mild form of dengue, persons can also experience a more severe form called dengue hemorrhagic fever, which is a rare complication of the illness that can lead to death. Usually the fever that comes with dengue lasts for about 5 days, and it is usually when the fever is going away that persons tend to worsen. Warning signs include persons not eating, experiencing persistent vomiting, lethargy, restlessness, shortness of breath, pain in the abdomen, or tenderness in the abdomen. Persons should also look out for signs of bleeding.
Those signs of bleeding can include bleeding from the gums, bleeding in the urine, it can be bleeding in the stool. Usually though, when you start getting bleeding in the stool, in the urine and stuff, you have reached a severe point.
It is important to note that a case of severe dengue can occur without symptoms of bleeding. Also, in a case of severe dengue, there may be difficulty in maintaining hemodynamics, in which a person's blood pressure tends to drop suddenly and circulation to vital organs is affected.
With dengue, fluid tends to seep from the blood vessels to the outside of the vessels, meaning that there is decreased blood flow to vital organs. And that is why you get the symptoms of lethargy and restlessness and pain in the abdomen. What those signs are signs of decreased perfusion to the brain. It means that enough fluid is not going to the brain because persons are dehydrated. Okay? The dehydration and the signs of dehydration are very important to treat.
Persons are warned to not wait for these signs and instead go to the doctor or hospital early. People with chronic illnesses such as sickle cell are at a greater risk of experiencing severe dengue. These individuals must use precaution when taking their medications.
If you have a chronic illness that you may be taking medications for and you think that there may be some interference with dengue, you must speak to your doctor to decide whether or not you should continue to take these medications.
In order to effectively combat and limit the spread of dengue and other mosquito-transmitted illnesses, persons must eliminate mosquito breeding sites in their surroundings. Breeding sites include old tires, laundry tanks, dish drainers, covered tanks or cisterns, drums and barrels, discarded buckets and containers. Other sources are pet dishes, construction blocks, bottles, discarded tin cans, tree holes and bamboo, bottle pieces on top of walls, old shoes and flower pots. Mosquitoes can also breed in discarded toys, roof guttering, bromeliad plants, garden containers and tools, brick holes and unmaintained wading or swimming pools. Where water is stored for use, the containers must be properly covered and sealed against mosquito entry. The use of mosquito repellents containing DEET and long-sleeved clothing are also recommended for personal protection. For more information, please contact the Ministry of Health, 10 to 16 Grenada Way, Kingston 5. Call them at 876-633-8172, 876-633-7771. Information is on the web at moh.gov.jm and contact can be made by email pr@moh.gov.jm or on social media.
The magazine closes for today, but please visit our social media pages. We're just a click away. You may also download our app to be notified of our latest stories and features. Don't forget to give us a like or leave a comment on our pages. Until next time, I'm Sandra Clark. Take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.